So in today's video, I wanted to start off by reciting a little something for you. Speaking in tongues, yabba dibba dibba da da voila, I'm killing this. Kaka, call up Lady Gaga on my telephone, yellow dome. You're my new beats note metronome, my new chick, she a yellow bone. I buy you Yellowstones, cause I like the way she got that yellow one. I'm a raptor, tearing it up like a tractor. Matter of fact, I'm killing this track. You're a slacker, sack like a sacker. Hello Mr. Brady, tell him leave his hair for the guy who sings Baby. You may be wondering, who the hell said that? William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare. I know you're thinking, Shakespeare's never written anything that iconic. And that's where you got me. See, it's none other than Justin Bieber. Gasp. Justin Bieber? That was an unreleased freestyle that he posted to Twitter in 2010 under his first rap alias, Shorty Main. From early in his career, Bieber has declared his love for hip-hop and R&B. So when Justin Bieber started dropping R&B songs and hopping on rap features, it was really not too much of a surprise. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let me rewind. Let me give you a little bit of an introduction to who Justin Bieber was and why his transformation from teen pop star to bad boy became so controversial. Once upon a time, there was a period when Justin Bieber was truly running the world. Bieber fever was international and he became inescapable, dropping hit song after hit song, going on tour after tour. And in Justin Bieber's rise to success, he became synonymous with a few things, such as his boyish good looks, his rise to fame on YouTube, and his infamous wings haircut. Bieber would become so known for the hairstyle that it would eventually be called the Justin Bieber haircut. Though he may have not been the first person to rock the hairstyle, with other teen heartthrobs such as Zac Efron rocking the hairstyle from as early as 2006, 3 years before Justin Bieber was making his debut, it became part of Justin Bieber's brand identity, which is why anybody coming up under Justin Bieber who had that hairstyle would automatically be called a Justin Bieber clone, and another part of his image came from his clothing. You see, early on Justin Bieber declared his favourite colour was purple, and then from there on out he would be seen sporting the colour quite often, which made many fans of his, myself included, declare that purple was also their favourite colour and started to rock it. This whole purple trend almost became like a rite of passage, and by choosing a more gender neutral colour such as purple instead of your traditional pinks and blues, it resonated with fans of all genders, which made his style more attainable because it wasn't directly isolating anybody, which gave him universal appeal. It was this distinct image that allowed Justin Bieber to stand out amongst his peers. He had the perfect pop star image down to a T. And being able to market a specific image is great, especially when you're a rising star, because though he's talented, what separates him from any other pop star, especially when you don't have a big corporation such as Disney behind you? Having an easily identifiable look helps to create a star, because even if people don't know you or your music, they might be able to identify you based off your looks alone, which is why they say it's great for any artist if people are able to dress up as you for Halloween and then people are able to identify who they are immediately. But like most young pop stars, they get to a point in which they want to change how they're perceived, detach themselves from the squeaky clean image they were once assigned, and start to discover themselves. We've seen this countless times from stars, especially from Disney and Nickelodeon. And the way this cycle typically goes is they start by changing their looks. They dye their hair, they get a haircut, eventually their style starts to change and they start wearing more provocative clothing. After a few years, they slowly start to rein in their antics as they grow out of the discovering themselves phase and become more confident with who they are. And in the case of Bieber, who was arguably the biggest pop star in the world at the time, we got to see his highs and lows play out in front of the entire world in real time. Social media was quickly rising at the time, and this was before aesthetic feeds and polished online personas. The Bizzle era didn't just happen overnight though. We would slowly get droplets of what was to come, and in this video I wanted to explore the journey from Justin Bieber to Bizzle, having a retrospective of the era and the scandals that came with it, and why he would eventually drop the moniker. In 2011, he will slowly start shedding his signature look for a more mature image. He tweeted that he wanted to cut his hair. Fans were worried because the haircut really became his thing, and the thought that their favourite human in the world could cut his hair and lose his looks caused many fans to become nervous. But anybody thinking about stopping him were too late, as just hours later he would go live with TMZ and cut off his infamous locks. donating them to charities. Thankfully for fans, the cut wasn't too drastic and many people actually preferred the new look on him. It was around this time he started to date his first public girlfriend, Selena Gomez. Through this relationship, we saw pictures of them showing PDA publicly, and while I don't think these images were put out there to accompany a maturing image, they definitely did help with anchoring the bridge between Justin Bieber's childhood image and his soon-to-be maturer image. Rumours about the pair's intimate life became a major topic of conversation, as Selena, much like many Disney stars at the time, would wear a purity ring, but during the relationship with Bieber, she started wearing it less and less, which generated buzz about whether the pair had been intimate or not. In March, as Bieber celebrated his 17th birthday, we would see the start of a rocky relationship with the Paparazzi, which would only get worse throughout the Bizzle era. He felt as though he was being harassed when out celebrating with Selena. He flipped them off and swore at them. This was a side many were unfamiliar with when it came to Justin, and while he could have been justified, he was accused of being a spoiled brat. However, it would be later in 2011 when Justin would be hit with the biggest controversy of his career thus far. Accusations hit the press made by a woman named Mariah that he was the father of a 4-month-old boy. To rebuttal the claims, he took a paternity test which determined that he wasn't the father, shutting down the false allegations, stating, "I know that I'm going to be a target, but I'm never going to be a victim." Around the time of the fake baby claims, Justin would start leaning into a more R&B sound, something that he'd become known for throughout the Bizzle era, with the release of his Christmas album, Under the Mistletoe. The album contained the hit Mistletoe and a duet of All I Want for Christmas Is You with Mariah Carey. Additionally, the album contained features from R&B legends Boyz II Men, Usher and Chris Brown. The album would also contain a Busta Rhymes feature, in which we hear Justin and Busta rap on an updated rendition of Drummer Boy. It was a bold choice. I have to respect it. The project received mixed reviews from critics. I wonder why. In 2012, his look would continue to develop. He cut his hair shorter and started to rock a quiff, something that would become his signature look throughout the Bizzle era. His style went from a preppy-esque look to a look that was heavily inspired by the swag era of the time. He started to rock baggy jeans, denim vests, snapbacks and gold chains, which you know is the inspiration for today's outfit. You know, this isn't a Cuban link, but we have to work with what we got. His relationship with the press went from bad to worse as he got into a physical altercation with a paparazzi. He was leaving the cinema with Selena and the paparazzi were blocking his car, refusing to move, allowing the pair to leave. Things got so bad it led to the man calling 911, filing a police report against Bieber and resulting in a trip to the hospital. But let's be serious for a minute. He saw dollar signs and wanted to milk the situation for all it was worth. Sorry, but I don't believe Bieber was putting any money into the hospital. I just don't. Unfortunately for Bieber, this type of situation with the paparazzi would only continue over the next few months, as the feud that he had with the paparazzi only got worse. In the meantime, Justin was gearing up to release his third studio album, Relive. With this project, he vowed to transition away from his teen bop image, opting for a more mature sound as he wanted to explore sonically. The first glimpse we would see of this would be in March, as he released his 2000s R&B inspired track, Boyfriend. Though it was met with mixed reviews from critics, fans loved the song and the way it showcased a new look and sound for Bieber. It would also be the introduction of what we would continue to hear from him over the next few years, as he opens the song by rapping. He told Ellen before it was released, the song, "It's basically, I'm talking to a girl saying, if I was your boyfriend, I would never let you go. We wrote it, and the verses, I'm talking, rapping, and then on the hook, I'm singing. It's a really awesome song." Justin released Believe in the summer of 2012. The album contained features from artists such as Ludacris, Nicki Minaj and Big Sean. Justin was praised for his musical growth and his ability to explore different genres, with this album moving away from pop and leaning more into R&B, hip-hop elements and dance. The album was ranked B+ by Entertainment Weekly, an improvement from My World 2.0 which received a B. So you know, musical growth. As for the rest of the year, he continued to make headlines for his antics. He was sick on stage after claiming he drank too much milk before hitting the stage. Insert the Nene Leakes meme of your choice.
Okay. Whatever that means.
And most importantly, he breaks up with his girlfriend of 2 years, Selena. The first of many times for the on-again, off-again couple over the next few years. In 2013, we would officially enter the Bizzle era. It's the year where everything comes together. Justin cuts ties with his clean-cut image, and he becomes the bad boy he's known as over the next few years. If there's one way for a star to shed their childhood image, it's to engage in a few no-nos by most parents. Underage drinking, which he had revealed to have been doing in 2012, as well as puffing on some MJ which was about to be the first scandal of the year. In January, some images of Bieber were leaked by TMZ at a party with friends over the new year, smoking what seemed to be MJ. This caused an uproar and outrage. People were questioning his morals and whether or not he was out of control, and sources stated that his friend Lil Twist was at this party too. Who's Lil Twist, you may ask? Well, let's rewind 4 days earlier to these images being leaked. A paparazzi passed away while chasing Bieber's car. Though Justin wasn't in the car, it still made headlines because it belonged to him. The car was stopped by highway patrol for a routine check, and the guy was trying to take pictures through the window of the Ferrari, creating an unsafe environment, which led to him being hit by another car. But it was later revealed to be none other than Lil Twist behind the wheel of the car when the accident took place. Twist, who's best known for his association with Young Money after being signed by Wayne at a young age, had known Bieber for years. The pair met shortly after Justin released his debut single, One Time, and they've been friends ever since. He even appeared in the video for Baby alongside Drake and Tinashe. They started to hang around more this time alongside their other friends, Lil Zar, Khalil, Kyle Massey and Major Ali. It would be the latter who coined the nickname Bizzle for Justin, as confirmed in an interview by Khalil. Now for a quick history lesson. The Izzle was popularised by Snoop Dogg. The Izzle was common amongst black pimps and jive hustlers of the 1970s, with roots that stem back to the Harlem Renaissance of the 1920s and 30s. After stating that he liked the name, it stuck with Bieber, and it would be something that he would continue to refer to himself as throughout the years. Behind the scenes, the guys would hang out, go to the club, go on holidays together, and even make music. However, the label didn't like the music they were making together and thought it would be bad for his image. They suggested that he stick to making pop music and music that appeals to the mass audience, instead of the R&B and rap music that he was making with his friends. A number of unreleased songs would be leaked in the following years, such as Turn Up and Twerk, and it featured another prominent star who was trying to shed their childhood image at the time by cosplaying in black culture, Miley Cyrus. Justin has expressed wanting to experiment with rap from as early as 2010, with clips of Bieber rapping in his interview with Tim Westwood and his unreleased song Speaking in Tongues, which was featured at the beginning of this video.
Shout out to my boys, yeah, they up there in Canada. I used to live there till I moved to Atlanta, where the girls are so hot, yeah, the girls are fine too. Catching Bieber fever, forget the swine flu.
Though he wasn't able to release many songs which featured him rapping, later in 2013 he would feature on Major Ali's Lolly, in which his verse became a standout and it was many people's first introduction to rap Bieber, truly solidifying his status as Bizzle. His friendships aside, he would only continue to cause more controversy, as during his European tour he would make headlines every other day. He was showing up late to shows, allegedly trying to bring underage friends Jaden Smith and Ella Page Roberts into a club, which, between that and causing the club to smell strongly of MJ, led to him being kicked out of the club where he was celebrating his birthday. And he also wore a World War style mask out to dinner too, which... go off, I guess. He has his tour bus searched by Swedish police where they found narcotics and a stun gun. He abandoned his monkey in Germany, which he received as a birthday gift and illegally tried to bring into the country. And after visiting the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, he wrote in the guest book, "Truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully she would have been a believer." Given the historical context, he shouldn't have said that. It should have just been an offhanded comment that he made to his friends, because why would you do that? You're not thinking. Not smart. A couple of months later, when he was back in the States, his controversial run only continued. He was filmed peeing in a mop bucket at a nightclub because of the long lines in the bathroom. And as somebody who's frequented the club myself, I get it. Like, especially after you've been drinking for a bit, like, there's no such thing as bladder control. So, again, it should have just been one of those things that didn't need to be recorded. But at the same time, you are still a celebrity, you still need to be aware of your surroundings. And there's just certain no-nos when you're a man of your caliber. He was kicked out of a club where he was being served alcohol despite being underage, and there were 2 cases regarding spitting. One involving a DJ who claimed JB spat on him in a club, and the other involving pictures revealing him spitting from the window of his Toronto apartment where fans were waiting below. With all the chaos happening in his personal life, he still found time to work on new music, which resulted in the first and the only album from the official Bizzle era, Journals, which is arguably his most experimental album to date. In the wake of yet another breakup from then-girlfriend Selena, Bieber wanted to express his heartbreak through music. With R&B being rooted in soul and emotion, he thought that this would be the best genre to express his emotions through. The album features a string of rappers, as well as a disgraced R&B singer whose name will not be mentioned. With that being said, it was clear that he was moving away from the traditional pop realm in which he came up, and was leaning into a more soulful sound that he actually enjoyed listening to, and felt more passionate about making. For the first time in his career, it seemed as though he was making music for himself, rather than music that the label label was pushing him to make. This was later confirmed, as when asked about the rollout of the album, a producer and friend of Bieber, Jason Boyd, said the album was supposed to receive a full release, as well as its singles to be promoted on radio. However, the label didn't support it because it wasn't the direction they wanted Justin to go in. So just for some context around journals, he would release a song every week until all the singles were out, which made it very different to a traditional album rollout. Taking control of what was happening around him was clearly something he felt strongly about at this time. We could see this exhibited through his behaviour and the way he was changing his public image. After a wild year of drama, controversy and having his name constantly smeared in the tabloids, Bieber took to Twitter to announce he was retiring from the industry. He seemed to be over everything and no longer wanted to deal with the drama surrounding his own antics. I get it, because he probably wanted to live his messy little life without being scrutinised for everything he did. But like most of us, he was just being melodramatic, because we've all had a job in which we've said we're going to quit, but aren't actually going to quit because who's going to pay the bills? In the sense that we don't have the millies in the account to facilitate that. And while he could afford to take some time off, if he did officially retire and continue to live the way he was living, it wouldn't have remained sustainable. Anyway, 2014 was like 2013 on steroids. He started off the year with more legal trouble. After egging his neighbour's house, they called the police on him, which led to the police raiding his home, where they found a whole range of narcotics, which was said to be his friend Lil Zars. Okay, he was arrested a couple of weeks later while in Florida for drunk driving and drag racing. No, not in the "how you doing" way. The Republicans have already tried that one, but in the more masculine, braggadocious, let me stunt in this yellow Lambo type way. Police documents would reveal that he was under the influence of alcohol, Xanax and MJ during this incident. This was despite his lawyer pleading not guilty to the DUI charge during the time of his arrest. This resulted in him getting a mugshot, joining the long list of celebrities who have been arrested and dealt with little repercussions. Let's celebrate that! Because to quote Good Charlotte, there's no such thing as 25 to life as long as you've got the cash to pay for Cochrane. A week later, he turned himself into the Toronto authorities and was charged in the assault of a limo driver that occurred in December after a hockey game. And there was a court date set for March, though these charges would later be dropped. And all that happened before January even ended. He would make headlines over the next few months for smoking MJ on a flight to the Super Bowl with his dad in a private jet, posting a picture of a Japanese war shrine which featured a symbol of Japanese militarism. He was investigated in connection to an alleged attempted robbery of a woman who snapped photos of him without his consent, and he allegedly got into a physical altercation with Orlando Bloom after Bieber reportedly made negative comments about his ex, Miranda Kerr. But the biggest controversies of his career came when two videos were leaked online of Justin making some racially charged comments. One video consisted of him making a racist joke, and in the other one he sings One Less Lonely Girl, where he replaces the word girl with the N-word, and he jokes about joining the KKK. He would later say that it happened 5 years prior to the videos dropping, making him 15 at the time. He didn't understand the power of certain words and how they could hurt, calling it a child an inexcusable mistake. He turned to mentors Usher and Will Smith, who helped to educate him on the history of the word and the harm that can be caused as a result of racist language. He was able to come out of this relatively unscathed. Though he did receive backlash online, nothing stuck for too long. Do with this as you will. What they should have done is call Iyanla and have him make Justin read those things out and shame him real good. Maybe not have him read it to the historical figures like she did with Hazel E, and definitely do not let him repeat the slurs again. The multiple times he said it in those videos are more than enough. Thank you. Outside of his antics, he didn't release lots of music this year, but he did release a video for Confident featuring Chance the Rapper, which became a moderate success for him and helped to solidify his transition from teen pop to R&B. He collaborated with Cody Simpson on Home to Mama and featured on Playtime by his friend Khalil towards the end of the year. Speaking of his friends, after the legal troubles that happened at the top of the year, his team gradually ensured that he distanced himself from his friends such as Twist and Czar. At least publicly. His team felt as though they were a bad influence on him and ruining his public image. Bieber and Twist reunited in the autumn of 2014 as they went out for dinner and posted pictures on Instagram, leading many to speculate as to whether we were in for a continuation of what we saw earlier in the year, but it didn't seem to reignite the behaviour we saw from the previous link-ups between the pair. As for his image, throughout 2014 his quiff remained his signature hairstyle. Though he was still rocking drop crotch jeans and more urban influenced styles, he was evolving with the times fashion wise. As the swag era came to an end, he replaced denim vests with flannel shirts, and sunglasses became a part of his signature look. But this wasn't the only thing about Justin's image that was changing during this time, as he was often spotted shirtless, which possibly highlighted his new favourite accessory, his tattoos. Wiley was no stranger to them, getting his first one at just 16 in Toronto. He went from a small discreet tattoo to a collection that contained at least 50 tattoos by the end of 2014. Though they were growing in popularity around this time, especially with hipster culture becoming a big deal, arguably hitting its peak around 2014, there was still a negative stigma that surrounded tattoos due to people associating them with criminals and gangs. While some people choose them for the aesthetic, a lot of Justin's tattoos, especially the earlier editions, would feature a deeper meaning. Regardless, they were helping to push forward the image of Bizzle, further separating himself from the squeaky clean image of previous years. As we enter 2015, Justin would start a new era. He would start to dissent from the Bizzle moniker that he'd been pushing for the past couple of years, slowly beginning to clean up his public perception. While he would still make headlines throughout the year, it wasn't as frequent and it wasn't necessarily for bad behaviour. He partook in a roast on Comedy Central where he was a good sport about the comedians cracking on him. Naked photos of him were leaked online shortly after pictures of Orlando Bloom also leaked. I don't know what in the dick swinging contest was happening there, but we praise the nudity gods. Cue Olivia Wilde. Yup. He would also release Purpose this year, an album which moved away from the R&B sound he was seemingly trying to establish in favour of the dance sound which was popular amongst most pop stars at the time. While he kept the R&B believers fed with a couple of features, including Maria I'm Drunk, which came from Travis Scott's iconic Rodeo album, it seemed as though Justin had officially abandoned his Bizzle moniker altogether, which he confirmed to fans stating that Bizzle had passed away in a car accident in May of that year. It definitely didn't give PR overhaul at all. So in short, that's the Bizzle era. Living through this time and looking back at it, you could have sworn that Justin was the worst person in the world. And while there were some crazy, dangerous and downright stupid things that took place, most of it just seems like growing pains. He wanted to branch out, drink, smoke, hang out with friends. He was working a crazy schedule from a young age and probably just wanted some breathing room. Now he definitely could have done that without the appropriation at times, but it is what it is. The Lightskin Bizzle era may be no more, but fans still hold out hope that he'll return someday soon. Fans begin to lose their mind whenever he's in proximity to hip hop or R&B, such as when he entered the Video Vixen era and starred in the video for Pop Star by Drake and DJ Khaled. And though there are many problematic aspects surrounding cultural appropriation and the ability to shed the black aesthetic when it benefited him, that's another discussion for another day, as this video is more of a retrospective of the era than an analysis on it. I just wanted to take a step back in time and explore the era, as all this was happening a decade ago. Anyway, in summary, this era was messy as hell. Entertaining, but real messy boots. But Justin gave us some of the best music of his career, so yeah, there's that. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. If you have a favourite Bizzle moment, feel free to share with the class in the comment section down below. And until next time, deuces!